Oh, yep, I'm a little bit nervous. A first time flying a Boeing business jet, but I guess there's a first time for everything. The level of wealth it would take to own one of these things, dude. These are absolutely ridiculous. So I think in the used market, these are 40 million plus. If you're looking at new, it's everywhere from starting at 70 going up to 100 plus million. Like, this is just ridiculous. It is so much bigger, but honestly less efficient than, you know, like a Gulfstream or something like that. Obviously it's a lot bigger, so it can fly into fewer airports. It's more of a pain to hangar. Like, these things are just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, think of a normal 737 that we've all flown on, right? That is, you know, probably 150, 200 passengers, somewhere around there. There's 19 passengers on this. Think of the space that you have. But that's not really something we have to worry about. I don't think on a pilot's salary we're ever going to be affording anything like this. So let's just make sure we get our passengers to their destination nice and safe. So we're going to go ahead
San Francisco ground, Boeing Romeo
and initiate
Alpha
boarding.
810.
Flying from SFO to
passengers on board?
KLAX. I mean, if you're getting on your BBJ, I don't think you're going to be using a normal airport terminal and jetway and everything else, but I guess we can roll with it this way. Ooh, they're kind of hitting our wingtips there, dude. This thing looks nuts. Honestly, very cool livery. Not quite as good as Air Drake, but very nice livery. I tell you what, there is more than enough room on this thing for baggage, bro. 19 people. Obviously, you're going to have pilots and stewardesses and other staff and stuff on there, but 19 passengers. A whole jet for less than 20 people. At least that's what I was reading online, my first one. Okay, so it says there's different configurations, so it can range from 16 to 48 seats. BBJ is luxuriously appointed with all the latest cabin facilities on board for first class catering. So yeah, it's a very small amount of people and a large amount of room. Now I gotta be honest, the most important part is this catering truck for sure. We gotta make sure we're getting this food on board. We're also gonna request our IFR clearance.
Romeo Alpha Whiskey 810 ready to copy IFR clearance to Los Angeles.
And it looks like we're about ready for takeoff. And here we are holding shore of runway 28 right here in San Francisco. This is such a cool runway to land on, dude. I love coming into SFO and you're just coming in low over the water, right over the ocean. It's just such a beautiful airport, but it's time for us to leave. We're gonna be heading south to Los Angeles. So we're gonna go ahead and request our takeoff clearance.
San Francisco
we're gonna hang out here for a minute and wait. Make sure there's no cross traffic happening. It looks like we did get that clearance, so we're going to go ahead and acknowledge it, and we are going to pull out into the runway here. Now, I got to be honest, since our last 737 episode, I watched a 20-minute YouTube video. I am feeling very qualified for this job, more qualified than I've ever felt before, and I think we're going to be all good to go. So let's go ahead and start informing the passengers about what we've got going on.
Welcome on board this flight to Los Angeles.
And we are going to stop here at the end of the
runway.
runway.
Your in-flight service manager. I'm here to ensure you have an enjoyable flight to Los Angeles. Please fasten your seatbelt and remember this is a non-smoking flight. From our captain and crew, it's our pleasure to assist you. So, if there is anything we can do to make your flight more enjoyable, just let us know.
We're working for you guys back there.
In the seat pocket in front of you. Thank you.
All right, so eventually it would be my goal to be able to like cold start this thing, have everything fully off, flick all the switches, turn on all the batteries, the APU, turn everything on, do everything. Obviously, we're a long ways off from that. There's like 2.5-hour tutorial videos on YouTube on this plane. It is absolutely ridiculous. One of the things I think I need to learn next is I'm not sure how to use this thing. I was trying to figure out how to find our reference speeds, like our rotate speed and things like that, and I'm just not sure how to do it. I thought it might be in reference. I thought to be honest, this thing is really complicated, and I think it's a little bit overrated. I don't think we actually need it. So I think our rotate speed somewhere around 150. Our co-pilot might say something. By the way, our female co-pilot, she had a bit too much Mo's from the terminal, so she had to stop in the lavatory back there. But yeah, so we obviously don't know everything. I'm going to learn every single time. I'm going to watch your guys' comments and stuff, but I think I've got some of the basics down. So we're going to start off by arming the auto throttle. Pretty self-explanatory. The plane is going to kind of adjust the throttle based on the inputs that we're putting into it. We're also going to put our LNAV mode on. So LNAV is your lateral navigation. Basically, the plane is going to follow your flight path, which is this pink line right here, or If we look over here, it's kind of our pre-programmed flight route. So with LNAV on, the plane will automatically follow that. It will turn by itself. Right now, we're still in control of the vertical part of it. You know, it's not going to affect up and down, but it will turn for us, which is good. Now, in terms of altitude, I think I saw 27,000 feet. To be honest, I don't remember. Again, a pre-flight plan is really kind of overrated. And then, of course, we're going to be setting our flaps. I think it's supposed to be somewhere between like 5 and 15 degrees. So we're going to try 5, and we're just going to hope we have enough. So I think we're good to go. To get things kicked off here, I think most of us have been on a flight before. There's kind of like that slow roll period, and then the pilot punches it. So we're going to be putting the engines to about 40% power once we can see that everything is lining up. They're both matching in terms of RPM and everything else. That's when you can punch it through. We're going to hit the toga mode button and go to takeoff and go around. This is the most stressful part of it because there's a few things I have to do. I'm hoping I can remember it all. I've got some written down over here if you guys see me looking over there. But yeah, basically we are going to manually put it to about that 40% mark, get a slow roll. Both engines look good to me. And then we're going to select this thrust lever, and we are going to put it into toga mode, which is basically going to max it out, takeoff, go around mode. And at this point, we're just waiting until we get that rotation speed. To get past V1, we can't abort the takeoff anymore. Once we get to VR, that means we're going to be able to start pulling back on the yoke. Now the 737 is really low to the ground, so you want to make sure you don't have a tail strike. I'm assuming we're going to want to be somewhere around here. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling back slightly. Here we go. Positive rate of climb. We're going to go ahead and bring up the landing gear. We are also going to put on autopilot and level change mode. Now it looks like, oh shoot, okay, that went a little bit too fast. We're going to have to reduce the flaps all the way to 0. Once you get past 200, you're going to want to reduce the flaps. And the plane is officially flying itself. Let's talk to ATC. Look out the window. Hopefully everything's good. Airspeed looks good. We're gaining altitude. Everything's good to go. Now I'm going to try to fly most of this flight without the brackets, but I will turn those on to check. Yep, we're looking solid here. There's so much that happens in such a short amount of time. That is absolutely terrifying. Got San Francisco and the bridge over there. Oh my goodness, dude, this is insane. Now we can see right here, this is our plane and this is our flight path. So since that LNAV mode is on, that should automatically have us going around that way. We've got the level change mode so that we're going to be going towards the 27,000 feet that we have set. Basically, our job until the landing is pretty much done. You got to talk to ATC a little bit, maybe change some levels and things like that, just kind of manage and monitor and look over everything, but we should be pretty much good. And I'm not going to touch anything. And look at that, the plane is flying itself. Now one thing I've been looking at, I feel like this thing goes crazy. Is this normal? I was trying to look up Captain Elevator Trim. Like bro is working overtime. It is constantly spinning like crazy. I don't know if that's normal or not, but dude, I can't even imagine from like a pilot's perspective, like, yep, successful takeoff. Let me kick back. Where's my Kindle at? I'm good to go. Can just kind of appreciate the views from up here. This is unreal. Clarissa, you good back there? Man, that Nachos Bel Grande just didn't hit right. It's probably the safest thing to order on the menu. Also, I've never actually had any issues with Taco Bell. I personally really, really like Taco Bell. It's just, that's something you always hear. Also, another thing is the Chipotle hot sauce. Like, I love the hot sauce too, but whenever I go with people, they'll be like, oh yeah, it tastes good, but it's just as hot coming out. And I'm like, what is wrong with your gut? I don't know if I have a strong gut or if I just have friends with weak intestines. So we are currently at 14,000 feet. We are following our flight path. We're already headed south here. We can zoom out to keep an eye on this. We should be there relatively quickly. I think this is like a 2.5 hour flight, so your boy is about to get paid, baby. As long as we can land it. The takeoff's the easy part. The landing is the tough one. I mean, seriously, what a flex. To have your own Boeing business jet. This is just so ridiculous. Absolutely outrageous levels of low. Spraying your chemtrails too and all the brokies down below. Looks like we are entering another turn, so we should, ooh, what a sick shot. All right, we should probably head inside, make sure everything's good. Looks like we're following that pink line down there. Dude, I didn't realize, I knew autopilot, obviously very, very prevalent in commercial aviation. I didn't realize that when you're like, right after taking off, you're throwing autopilot on and you're just chilling. As far as I'm aware, like the planes virtually fly themselves. Obviously, landing is a bit different story. Some of taking off, and you know, you want somebody up here in case the computer starts messing up. They know what's going on and can fix everything and do everything manually. But I never realized just how much autopilot was used. Cruising along the California coastline, baby, trying to get up to 27,000 feet. We should be there relatively shortly. Here comes our cruising altitude right now. Let's go ahead and inform passengers we're up here. You can use the lavatories if needed. If Clarissa's out of it by now, feel free to let down your tray tables, get your overhead compartments. Raw. This flight is raw, baby.
And at an airspeed of 200 knots. It's 9:14 a.m. We are expecting to land in Los Angeles approximately at 9:10 p.m. local time with a ground temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the area as we descend. Flight team will be coming around soon to offer you a light snack and beverage, and the in-flight movie will begin shortly afterward.
See, I don't think we've got the typical catering happening here with your Biscoff cookies and stuff. There's probably Dom Perignon and caviar flowing back there.
Good day.
All right, so we are officially being handed off. We're at our cruising altitude. We're just kind of chilling. We're using 60% of our thrust. And we're just going to kind of sit here for the next 2 hours until it's time to land this beast. Now, I got to be honest, I really want to speed this thing up. I feel like that would be a mistake, bro. That's what got us in trouble in the last one. We started doing the floppy thing. So I think what we're going to do, we're just going to play it safe. I don't want to sit here for the next 2 hours just waiting. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead to our approach. And this is where things get interesting. We got to manage our altitude. We got to manage our speed. We got to manage our flaps. We got to put old girl on the center line. We're going to see what happens. Oh, okay. It put us in a really weird spot. Okay, don't do that to me. We're fine. Dude, that hardly even moved us forward. All right, let me get autopilot back on. Autopilot's engaged. We're good to go. What's this? What's this? What's the? I don't think we want that. Okay, acknowledge the handoff. We're gonna be fine. We're good. It's fine. We're all good. That's why you pay me the big bucks. So when I come into a stressful situation, I can press one button and figure it out. Let the plane do the rest. Dude, it skipped us from here to here. That literally did nothing. It's all right. We'll be able to see the full approach and everything. We got Los Angeles down here somewhere. I'm gonna hear this sound in my nightmares tonight. What is this thing doing? Why does it do the bucking thing? Is that supposed to be mimicking turbulence? Because I've never been in a flight that acts like a bull at a country bar, bro. What is this? Dude, she's just going nuts. All right, let's see if we can counteract this. So we're gonna pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Okay, FL270. We're gonna figure that out. Got it. Put autopilot back on. I think autopilot might be a little bit messed up. I think it's a bug. It's not climbing. I'm gonna let's keep. Oh, it won't let us put LNAV on anymore. That's fine. We're gonna be fine. All right. You know what? We're just gonna manually fly this thing. See, skip it ahead maybe wasn't the best idea, Trev. I'm gonna make sure our barometric pressure is all lined up. What we're gonna do? Where's our heading indicator? We're gonna put our heading indicator on our flight path. Then we can put it into heading mode. And then we can put it in vertical speed mode. We've got 270 selected. And we're going to have plus 1,000 on our vertical speed. Let's keep an eye on this. But then we should see our altitude start to increase. And we should be all good to go. Skipping ahead was the worst thing we could have done. I thought it was going to save us some time, but it really just gave us a bigger headache to worry about. But that's all right. We're learning all the extra things. Honestly, we wouldn't have had to do any of this if we would have just stayed the course. It just would have flown itself pretty much all the way there until we get towards the approach. That is one thing. I can't figure out how to get the approach mode button to work. I've tried it a few times at a few different aircraft, and I don't know when or how I'm doing it wrong. So we might have to fully manually land this thing, but hey, that makes it all the more fun. I think we could add even more vertical speed, right? Could we go to like 2,000 feet per minute? I love this auto throttle arm. Like the fact that it's applying the throttle to stay at the speed that we have selected, and it's just kind of always doing exactly what we need it to do. It's so nice. Like, bro, does this thing not kind of fly itself? I mean, it kind of is a little bit more finicky and takes a little bit more thought, and obviously it's scary knowing how many people you have in the back and how heavy and big this thing is, but at the same time, it's also kind of a little bit easier to fly. So let's go ahead and increase our sim rate just a little bit. We're going to get this thing back up to 27,000 feet. I thought we were skipping ahead to the descent, but it doesn't have us descending yet. You can see here we're going to be turning to the left. Our next waypoint is Bennett over here, so we're just going to kind of cut this corner a little bit. Let's just adjust our heading. We can cut that off as we're trying to gain speed. I don't know what our cruising speed is, but we're going to keep things going as quick as we can. 340 is the max speed, so we'll see where we end up. And 340 is in our candy cane, so we definitely don't want to go 340. Let's back this thing down. I'm gonna say let's maybe cruise at 300. I didn't know they had all these little islands out here. I knew there was Catalina Island. What are these islands, dude? I don't think I've ever seen these before. Oh wow, yep, they're here. There's San Miguel Island, Santa Rosa, and Santa Cruz. Okay, and LA is gonna be right around the corner up here. I think this tip right here might be Malibu. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not like massively familiar with this area. I've lived out here a little bit. Is that this right here? Because that would be Malibu. It might not be. It's hard to tell. It might be. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be coming in, around, and approaching LAX from the east. So 2,100 feet on our altitude. I think we should probably bring this down quite a bit to 200. We're on speed, we're on heading select, we're on altitude hold mode. I want to put it in vertical speed, and we're going to lose 500 per second, maybe 1,000 per second, or per minute, sorry. Looks like we're still on our flight path here. Everything looks good. Okay. We had a little, not a virtual lesson, a little geography lesson happening, so I got a little bit caught up here. I want to make sure that the biggest thing is you can't have too much speed. We can always add more speed, we can go around, we can do whatever, but you don't want too much speed coming in. So let's just be careful about that. So it looks like, auto throttle's doing its thing. We're losing altitude. We're also slowly losing speed. Oh, it wants us way lower. Yeah, I think we need to lose speed a little bit more quickly. So we're going to lose 2,000 feet per minute. Maybe like 2,500. Computer's going to figure out how to keep us from losing the altitude that fast, while also hopefully reducing we're not going to be able to reduce our speed, are we? Okay. Well, passengers are in for a fun ride here, but hey, you know what? They're with the man that's going to get it done, baby. I think we were a little bit too focused on what was happening, all the things we were seeing. We weren't really paying attention, but it's fine. So this is Catalina Island up here, I believe. We're going to be going out and around. We should have plenty of time to get down. It just wants us a lot lower than what we are. We might have to take a wider berth to get into our objective. Old girl is just coasting at this point. Basically a log falling from the sky. Engine thrust is at 0%. So yeah, we're having a fall with style right now. That is crazy. So at 2,500 feet per minute, it's going to take us, where are we at? Just over 20,000. It's going to take us 4 minutes to get to where we're trying to go. We should be good. We should be able to get there by the time we're over land. It's just ATC's going to have a bit of a problem. They're probably going to tell us to hurry it up. Well, Greg, this was not going to be easy, but hopefully we get it done. Clarissa, you back there? What's going on? My goodness. So you had those new chicken nuggets from Taco Bell. Dude, those things are actually pretty good. It's like real chicken, if you guys haven't had it. It's like crispy chicken. It's like Chick-fil-A chicken. It's good chicken. It's not like a weird paste chicken from McDonald's or something, which I'm not gonna lie, I like a nice pink goo paste chicken nugget. I'm not afraid of it, but the new Taco Bell nuggets are kind of fire, not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and start turning left here. Got Catalina Island out here. Los Angeles off to the left over there. This is like the same pattern you always take. I've flown in and out of LA literally probably 80 times in my life because of all the like YouTube stuff and going to events and living out there and whatever else. But like every flight in, I'm always coming from East Coast, so I haven't taken this route to land, but our final approach when we're coming in from the east and downtown's off to your right, you've got the ocean straight in front of you. That's, you know, kind of the approach I've always taken. And then the takeoff is always this. You always take off, you shoot straight out over the beach, you go over this island, and then you turn to be able to go east. Still just trying to bleed altitude. Airspeed is slowly rising. That's going to be a concern. We got our candy cane up here. We don't want to overspeed, so we might have to reduce the speed that we're losing altitude here soon, because we are slowly growing that. I don't know if 2,500 feet per minute is an aggressive descent. Hey, ChatGPT, what's the maximum suggested feet per minute descent rate for a commercial aircraft? I guess it depends on what kind of aircraft it is. We're gonna find, I could have said just like a 737. Normal descent is 1,500 to 2,500 feet per minute. Steeper descents could be up to 4,000 feet per minute. Emergency up to 10,000. So your boy is well within the quantity of normal, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I've just got, you know, I guess some people got it. We've just got that pilot's intuition. So we are going to, ooh, there's the airport right there. I've actually never been to Catalina Island. Always wanted to. There's quick, like, little ferries over here. It's kind of a funky little island. I've heard it's pretty nice. Kind of weird that there's, like, this beautiful, private, more, you know, low-key, reserved island just off the coast of one of the busiest, craziest places on planet Earth. So I need to go check it out one day. We're down to 10,000 feet. That's good. I mean, I will say, even though we kind of... Ooh, max speed under F... Oh, no. I didn't realize there was a max speed for down here. Your boy just got caught speeding. Freaking highway patrol out here giving me radar. Gonna give me a ticket. Hopefully we get off with a warning. I had no idea that was gonna be a thing. So now we really need to get this thing under 250. Like this is maximum importance. We're losing altitude and losing speed. Hopefully we might need to bring this down to 1,000. Obviously, the less altitude we're burning, the quicker our airspeed's going to go down, so let's get her under 250 and not break the law again. All right, we got her under 250, and it looks like it's holding pretty steady there. We're still trying to get down to 2,100. It's going to be a little bit slower than we were hoping for. I'm going to try a 1,200. FPM descent rate, hopefully. It's still going to stay consistent. We're still just at 0% on our thrust. All right, we're looking okay. We're flying a little close to the sun there, but we learned our lesson from Icarus, and hopefully we should be able to get this bird slowed down. I really wish we could get this on LNAV mode. It's still not working. Is our approach mode working? Approach mode isn't working either. I don't know if that's a bug or if... Approach mode, obviously, you've got to be a little bit close to the airport. You got to be intercepting their, you know, like glide slope and the path and everything. But I don't know how to get that. It's just none of it's working. I think it's maybe bugged because we skipped it. Maybe bugged overall. I have no idea. But we're just gonna slowly kind of keep this thing turning here. Gonna try to make it as consistent as possible. We could put it on altitude hold mode. Actually, just kidding. We still need to lose. I thought we were at 2,100 already. I was gonna say we could put it on that and then take it off autopilot so we could just do like a nice drift, but we're just gonna do this our way here. Just little itty bitty pieces at a time. And she's gonna straighten out. There it is. All right, now we're gonna head towards land. Just keep reducing our altitude. We're almost down to 2,100. This is looking good too. I do think we might, I don't know. We might want to reduce this. Let's go to like 190. I think we have a longer way than we think. Okay, so I think we keep that at 200. We don't want to go too slow. I want to be really careful about our speed. Dude, I love how these things just work themselves. It's great. All right, we're going into the clouds here. Dude, the clouds are the perfect bad height for us here. We just got to trust our instruments, trust our gut, trust our topography, trust everything. I don't think there's any mountains or anything down here. That's all going to be up north of Los Angeles, so we should be good to go. Make sure you keep an eye on this guy, Trev. My goodness, dude, I watched a 40-minute documentary on the The Kobe copter crash. Rest in peace, dude. It's really sad. There's a good YouTube documentary on it. Basically, pilot flew into, it was worse conditions than this, but you know, spoiler alert, end of the day, he told ATC that he was climbing. He was attempting to climb to 4,000 feet, and he wasn't looking at his gauges, or he was confused or something. I don't know what happened. He was obviously a very decorated pilot, a friend of Kobe's, somebody who had flown him and his family around for years and years and years. And instead of climbing to 4,000 feet like he thought he was doing, because he was in the soup, he was in just nothing but whiteness, you couldn't see anything, he was actually slowly turning left, 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 and banking left, and then just kind of fell into the side of a mountain. I mean, this is scary for sure. This is very, very scary. Just being in this where you can't see anything. It's like the end of the world. Like our GPU needs to be upgraded, but nope, that's just the clouds. That's why we've got our IFR rating. So this is where I would put land if I could see it. There's land somewhere down there. There's like a really nice Southern California coastline, but we can't see any of it. So it looks like Fogla is a little bit more than 20 nautical miles out from our runway, which is important. I've got some just kind of random numbers from the tutorial I watched of, oh, you can kind of see the city coming into view here. Basically, 10 nautical miles out from the airport, we're going to try to drop her down to 170 knots and flaps at 1. 5 out, we're going to drop gear. To be honest, I don't really know. It was tough. There was something about a VREF plus 10. I don't know how to get our VREF active. It's like your reference number. Again, it's something to do with this computer thing. I don't really know how to work it, so we're just going to do our best. Basically, at Fogla, we're really going to start reducing our speed. I also think we're going to drop our altitude a little bit. Let's get a little bit lower, maybe 1,500, 1,400. Let's get low before we have to reduce speed, otherwise we can get ourselves in trouble. Personally, I would just really like to be able to see the ground, dude. This is freaking terrifying. Is our barometric pressure right? Oh, it was a little bit off. We're actually at 1,600 feet right now. So we're gonna keep dropping altitude here. We are gonna be making a left here in a second, dude. I do not like not being able to see. This is so freaking stressful. There's the ground. Okay. I do like the ground. The ground is nice. Things are going to start happening quickly. I'm going to try to drop us to 1,000. Let's keep dropping here. All right, we're going to be starting to take our left to get our final approach. Oop, that's the wrong button. It's this one. This is our heading select. We're going to start getting this thing turned. Oh my God, this is freaking terrifying, dude. My hands are so sweaty right now. Seeing the city and all the stuff below us and whatever else. So we're going to keep this thing turning. We're going to get back on our flight path. All right, I'm going to drop us to 190, and I'm going to put us at flaps at 1. My biggest thing is going to be getting us back on this line. I'll turn us a bit more aggressively. Let's try to get lined up. I just feel like we're going so freaking fast, dude. Why does this look so fast? Maybe drop the altitude a little bit. I don't really know how high we should be right now. Looks like we're a little bit under, but it's fine. So we're going to get back to this line. As soon as we get to Fogla, we're going to drop it to 170, and we're going to put flaps at 10 degrees. I mean, at this point, we're going to think about taking autopilot and stuff off, too. Here we go. Line her up, line her up, line her up. We should be relatively lined up with the airport now. Just double check. Dude, we're actually doing pretty good. It's freaking stressful. That's like a little check. Like, let me just get a little double check on my work here. Get our brackets are like my little helper. So typically we'd be a little bit higher here. Obviously the clouds were a big. Did you just say something to me? Did you say something, Greg? You say anything? I didn't hear you. We're at Fogla, so we're gonna drop our speed to 170, and we're gonna put our flaps back to 10. We should see those flaps start to come down a little bit. Obviously, we're going to be going to flaps at 30 to land. Dude, this is so freaking stressful. I'm going to say, should we back it down a little bit more? How far are we from the airport? Oh, the airport's on here. All right, so I'm going to say 150, and we're going to go flaps 30. Dude, everything's happening so fast. 15, 25, 30. Flaps are deployed. We're going to go ahead and do our landing gear. Landing gear is coming out. I feel like we're a little bit late on this. We probably could have put the landing gear down a little bit earlier, but it's going to be all right. All right, landing gear is out. We are all good to go. I am freaking stressed out. Which runway do you want me on? That one right there. Let me, hold on, turn off this. Turn off the autopilot. Oh, we're way too high. Bro, how are we too low and now we're too high? Hold on. We're fine. We're gonna be fine. I'm all the way off the power. We're a little bit off the center. We were off the center line because we couldn't freaking see it and our autopilot wasn't working. We're approaching a stall. We're fine. We're fine. Shoot, dude. All that time invested, the autopilot didn't work at the end and it had us off the center line. This is probably a go-around if you're somebody that's not Team Martin Airways, but you know what? We freaking get it done. Our clients' time is more important than their lives. Here we go. Here we go. I don't... Why is it doing the da-da-da? I think we landed on the wrong runway. Nose down. All right. I think that's... It was definitely a go-around situation. That was about the hardest landing we could have possibly given them.
You were not cleared to land. Clear the runway.
I don't know what runway you want to be on. It told me to get off the runway on this side, and now it's saying that we entered in the wrong taxiway. Really? All right, we're gonna get docked a couple of points here, but it's fine. You know, we landed, we survived. It just wasn't as smooth as it could have been. The fact that we didn't have any autopilot at all towards the end, and we were flying in to IFR, that was really not good. LNAV button. You really let me down, buddy. I don't know what else to say. Approach button wasn't working. Both of these guys. Respect the condition of the aircraft. 0. Landed on the wrong runway. Had the 2 speed limit things. You know, we almost got a B. It's our, at least we kind of understand some of the functions. I do think we were at a disadvantage with the landing and no autopilot. I'm not gonna blame it all on that though. We also just weren't lined up where we were supposed to be, but all in all, that was pretty good if you ask me.